somebody is gonna die.
With the final within reach, players will go to drastic measures to succeed.
Now's the time to take a shot.
And those who are feeling the heat
No one actually has my back.
are ready to set the house on fire.
If not today, tomorrow.
It's the craziest game of bingo you've ever seen.
Players can win $1 million.
Loteria Loca. Series premiere Monday, October 2nd on CBS.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The new game, Raid the Cage, October 13th on CBS.
MSHS wraps up homecoming week with a parade and football game. Huddle up for those outlooks, plus your full forecast. Live from downtown Marquette, it's your 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, a suspect hospitalized after a police-involved shooting tonight in Marquette County. We'll tell you what we know about it so far. Plus, more UAW workers are expected to be called to walk off the job tomorrow as negotiations haven't made much progress between the union and the Detroit Big Three automakers. We'll have the latest. And more than a uniform, the exhibit in Escanaba and one veteran's story behind his artwork. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Finally, a little relief right now from the heat earlier today. So, Era, are we expecting to get this hot again tomorrow?
I don't know if we were expecting to get this hot
true.
today. I mean, I knew we were going to be a little bit muggy. Temperatures are going to be warm tomorrow as well, Sarah, but hopefully we don't break any records like we did today. Those temperatures should be primarily in the 70s. We'll see them drop midday. Toasty, like I said, tomorrow, and then we'll have warm temperatures this weekend as well. But chances of showers and thunderstorms could be into our Saturday before things dry out on Sunday. Like I said, we did break a record, seeing a high today of 83 degrees. Harvey, 88. Whew. I've got your full forecast after the break.
Thanks, Air. Developing now, a man is hospitalized and charges are pending after an officer-involved shooting this evening. Michigan State Police say it happened around 7 p.m. during a traffic stop on US 41 in Marquette County. Troopers were trying to arrest the unidentified suspect on a felony warrant when a shooting occurred. It's unclear at this time what led to that shooting. Troopers administered first aid at the scene before the suspect was taken to UP Health System Marquette for treatment of his injuries. No troopers were injured and the incident remains under investigation. WZMQ will provide updates to this story as they become available. A Menominee County toddler was found uninjured after wandering away from her home, and it's all thanks to her family dogs. Michigan State Police troopers in Iron Mountain were called out to the Faithorn area around 8 p.m. Wednesday night for a 2-year-old girl who had walked away from her home with the family's 2 dogs. Search crews from Michigan and Wisconsin used drones, multiple police canine units, search and rescue agencies, and local citizens to help find the girl. Around midnight, a citizen on an ATV found the girl about 3 miles from her home. She was asleep using her smaller dog as a pillow while the bigger dog stayed nearby. She was checked out by medical personnel and was found to be in good health. We have new video tonight of a home in Iron Mountain considered uninhabitable after a fire that occurred yesterday afternoon. Around 3:15 p.m., the Iron Mountain Fire Department responded to a house fire at 840 East F Street. First responders were on the scene within a few minutes and found heavy fire on the first floor and the space between the ceiling and the second floor. Briding Township Fire was even called in to assist. Fire crews searched the home as one resident was unaccounted for at the time. That person was later reported safe at a different location. No injuries were reported and that fire is under investigation. Both General Motors and Stellantis announced layoffs Wednesday as UAW members continue to walk the picket line at 3 facilities. GM laid off around 2,000 workers at its Fairfax assembly plant in Kansas, while Stellantis laid off 68 employees at a machining plant in Ohio and will likely lay off an estimated 300 other workers at factories in Indiana. The layoffs come as the strike hits the 1-week mark, with more employees potentially joining the picket line tomorrow. If there isn't serious progress made in negotiations before noon tomorrow. UAW President Shawn Fain said more workers will be called on to strike. All three automakers have offered raises around 20%. Fain is expected to announce the next striking facilities at 10 a.m. tomorrow. In Lansing, the state Senate is working on legislation to increase renewable energy sources and decrease carbon emissions. The Clean Energy Future Plan was introduced in April by Senate Democrats. It includes 3 bills that would set a goal of 100% clean energy by 2040, modernize the Public Service Commission that regulates state utilities, and expand energy waste reduction programs. Democrats say the plan would create sustainable and reliable energy for the state. However, Republicans are concerned the plan would introduce renewable energy sources too quickly to be reliable.
I think there is a great opportunity here for us to be able to focus on climate, making sure that energy is reliable, make sure that we're trying to bring down cost for consumers across the state.
When you're playing around with something like energy, people's lives are at risk. Our grid runs on a very thin line, and any deviations or ripples in that can have catastrophic consequences throughout the grid.
You can read more about the plan and the legislators' comments on our website and our mobile app. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky met with our lawmakers earlier this morning in D.C., trying to reaffirm continued support for Ukraine in the war. Zelensky gave members an update on the war's progress and their country's plans. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp has the report.
Walking out of a closed-door meeting with Republican and Democratic senators, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky briefly addresses the press.
We had great dialogue. I'm very thankful to you, journalists, senators, Congress for helping us, support us. We spoke about so many details, but it will be between us. Sorry.
This is Zelensky's second visit to Congress since the Russian invasion in February of last year. This visit includes meeting with our members, asking for Congress to continue their support for Ukraine during the war, also providing them an update on the situation on the battlefield and their plans. For the most part, there was a strong sense of support from the Senate.
American support for Ukraine is not charity. It's an investment in our own direct interests.
Michigan Senator Debbie Stabenow on social media says in part, America must continue to stand with Ukraine. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman says in part, meeting with Zelensky only affirms my 1,000% support for Ukraine.
Mr. Zelensky said, if we don't get the aid, we will lose the war. That's a quote from him.
Over in the House, the reception wasn't as warm. Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy declined a forum for Zelensky to address members of the House, only meeting with him in private, away from the press. This comes at a time when members of his own party in the House are fighting over federal spending. McCarthy is dealing with a growing House Republican resistance to continue aiding Ukraine.
We believe in standing up for democracy, and we'll continue to do that. But the one thing I've always said in this job, no matter what the issue is, I always firmly believe you have to have accountability. These are hardworking taxpayer dollars. I want to make sure there's accountability where the resources are going. I want to see a plan of what we're looking for victory, and I think members will sit and have their questions as well.
At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
3 people are hospitalized in West Michigan tonight, all infected with West Nile virus. It's the first human case this season in a Kent County resident. 2 people in Ottawa County have also tested positive. Officials say neither person has a history of travel and were likely bitten by an infected mosquito in West Michigan. Health experts in Kalamazoo County say the disease can be deadly.
About 8 out of 10 people don't ever see symptoms. 1 out of 5 will get a symptom similar to a lot of symptoms that we see. So, vomiting, diarrhea, that sort of thing. And then the big thing is about 1 out of 150 will find that they can get like a neurological disease, which is those that can cause grave illness or even death.
And when it comes to those more serious side effects, health officials say West Nile can affect the body's central nervous system and result in encephalitis or meningitis. To keep mosquitoes away from your home, get rid of any standing water and dump out any pots or children's toys that can hold water after rain. Mosquitoes in Kalamazoo County have tested positive for West Nile virus. Around the UP, the Dickinson Area Economic Development Alliance is launching a new task force. The alliance updated local organizations and businesses during its fall meeting today. WZMQ's Iron Mountain Bureau reporter Amy Doyle has the details.
A new task force for the Dickinson Area Economic Development Alliance was introduced, called Link Up. Luke Carey of Carey Design and Builds mentioned that the group began with 3 members post-COVID and is now overseen by a committee of 8.
We love to see Link Up all over the UP because that's why we made the name, Link UP, Link Up.
Link Up stands for Leading, Influencing, Networking, and Knowledge Sharing. Link Up is serving as a strategy for building and retaining a talent pipeline in Dickinson County with the intent to expand through the Upper Peninsula.
The new leader, John Ortberger, is stepping in to lead that over the next year. But yeah, it's a networking opportunity, but also a learning opportunity for any working individuals that just want to engage with like-minded individuals, maybe advance their leadership skills.
Founders started spreading the word during this year's ski jump competition, kicking it off with its first social at the ski resort in April. They hosted a group of interns in June, and they host networking socials about once a month. The economic director wants representation for careers in any field.
For anyone of any age and in any occupation, it doesn't have to be a professional that might be viewed as someone that sits behind a desk, but we want the people that are technical workers, tradespeople, all of those segments of our economy to be represented in the group.
Our circles, we wanted to form circles, an example being like a leadership and mentor circle. So if you have younger individuals, leaders, and older leaders and individuals that want to kind of meet and collaborate and grow themselves.
Link Up is currently finalizing its fall social schedule. Amy Doyle, WZMQ 19 News, Iron Mountain.
An annual art competition aims to break the stigma around mental health and suicide. West End Suicide Prevention is kicking off its 4th annual Live Art and Word contest. This year, it's expanded to allow middle schoolers, high schoolers, and adults to participate. Submissions can be anything from poetry to paintings, photography, even quilting. One person from each age group will win a cash grand prize of up to $500.
A lot of what we've seen in the past has been really heartfelt. The art brings tears to people's eyes, realizing what the individual is going through, and this other person feels the same way that I do. And I'm not alone, and there's other people out there as well.
Participants can submit up to 3 entries. We'll have a link to submit your entries on our website, WZMQ19.com. Today, Escanaba's Boniface Arts Center unveiled a new exhibit showcasing pieces by veterans and their loved ones. WZMQ's Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons has the story of one veteran and how he uses his experience in the military to create art.
The More Than a Uniform exhibit features artwork of a variety of mediums, crafted by veterans and service members, as well as some caregivers and loved ones. For Army veteran Larry Godfrey, who served in Vietnam and Germany, art is in his blood.
My mother was an artist. I'm Ojibwa, Anishinaabe, so a lot of my work is done with traditional art.
The rest he calls junkyard art.
I enjoy taking something from nothing and putting it together to bring out something.
Like this piece, titled Tormented.
Trauma, PTSD, different things that happen to veterans. The barbed wire, for me anyway, symbolizes that because of all the different points sticking out.
Each detail is part of his personal story, from the flags down to the base.
The sprocket is off an armored personnel carrier. The copper is just a cover, but it's the bullet holes I put in it that show some of the things I experienced.
The feather is a nod to Godfrey's native heritage, which is also shown in pieces like We the People.
The flag is to let natives know they're not forgotten. The natives put a lot of time in the military. It kind of comes from warrior tradition.
Creating these pieces over the years has been therapeutic for Godfrey, and he wants other veterans to experience that same feeling when they see them.
For a veteran, it takes a lot to step out anymore because of the traumas and that they come home with. I'm hoping that it gives them a little bit of healing.
The More Than a Uniform exhibit is on display now through November 2nd. Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break, plus ski jumping without the snow. We'll show you how athletes on Ishpeming Ski Club practice in the warmer months. And Wisconsin's drought this summer is affecting more than just the crops, how it's impacting the pollinators too. We're back in 2 minutes.
"19 News" is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Shop our huge selection of Amish-crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order. With 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
The Emmy-nominated Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Do you know that feeling when you're laughing and crying at the same time?
Weeknights on CBS.
Now more than ever, you need to know what's happening here in Washington. Decisions affecting your life by the people you set here. I'm Rachel Knapp, tracking the daily decisions by your senators and representatives. That's my job, and I report to you. Healthcare, education, the economy, taxes, jobs, all hang in the balance. Watch my reports from Capitol Hill only on WZMQ 19 News.
"19 News" was recently honored with the 2022 Best Newscast Award from the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. It motivates us to work even harder to be your voice in the community. 19 News is all about sharing local activities and events, plus information that leads to understanding, support, and unity. That's the mission of the 19 News team, and we thank you for watching.
19 News, connected to our community. Weeknights on WZMQ 19.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
DEPR.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale. Bipolar? Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Now, WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasic.
Most of us are still in that 60-degree range, but we are starting to cool off in Escanaba, and we'll expect most of us to head on down to the 50s as well. Mostly clear, although we have some patchy fog this evening. Let's take a look at the comfort index, what we're expecting for our Friday morning, afternoon, and early evening hours. Not quite ideal. Will be cool, but also muggy, so kind of similar to what we saw today. I don't see us breaking any records tomorrow, but you never know. Mother Nature and universe probably just heard me say that. Just in case you come into any fog while you're out there driving, remember to use your low beams if you don't have fog lights, and then we'll expect that in the morning. Mostly sunny skies, partly sunny skies, depending on where you are exactly in the UP, but then we'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Temperatures 70 degrees. That range to start, but we'll see them drop midday to about mid 60s and low 70s. A little bit of a tornado thunderstorm action over here in Nebraska, but we are sitting fairly dry at the moment, although we have had a little bit of precipitation over on the nose there this evening. But current conditions, some scattered sprinkles over here near Iron County and the east part of Gogebic County. Let's check out what we're expecting in our morning. Maybe some sprinkles down south here along the Lake Michigan coast. After that, we'll see those clear out after around 8 a.m., maybe 9 a.m. Mostly sunny and dry conditions till 4 p.m. Some showers starting off over on the west side here, maybe a little thunderstorm in Iron County, but then check out that angry blob near Lake Gogebic as it heads on out to sea, and then maybe some thunderstorms up in the Keweenaw. But other than that, we'll stay fairly dry for the rest of the UP. Some cloudy conditions to start our Saturday morning, and then we'll have some clear conditions in the early evening into that night. Saturday night. That's what's coming up. First day of fall, my friends. Okay, tomorrow though, we got to get through this. Temperatures fairly warm around noon for that school day or work day, depending on where you are, and then we'll expect those highs that are listed below could be up to about 75 degrees. Really toasty. We've got homecoming for MSHS right here in Marquette. Starting at Grave Ret, we'll expect a temperature of about 72 degrees, mostly sunny. I've got that football forecast in just a moment. Everybody in that 70-degree range like we talked about. Maybe some cloudy or foggy conditions up there in Houghton throughout the day. And then, like I said, Friday night lights for Marquette. Sault Ste. Marie is coming for that homecoming game. Kickoff is at 6:30. Temp around 61 degrees before we see chances of possible thunderstorms and rainstorms. Sorry there, hit the wrong button. Our 7-day outlook for Marquette will dry out on Sunday and then mostly dry next week.
Thank you very much, Ariane. We may be a couple months away from winter yet, but it's not too early for sports practices. Right now, the Ishpeming Ski Club is preparing their skis for fall practices at Suicide Hill. The athletes practice on an artificial turf that mimics the feeling of jumping on real snow. One athlete says during the summer, not only is the weather more predictable, but there's also no track grooming to do, which gives the athletes more time to train.
Summer we jump on the plastic and the steel tracks, so it's a lot less maintenance during summer, because in the winter we usually have to shovel every practice. So during the summer we kind of just show up, get warmed up, head up the hill.
Heading into October, the Ishpeming Ski Club will be hosting its Cliffs Autumn Classic. We'll have links to more information about that at WZMQ19.com. The first year of Marquette Mountain's downhill mountain bike racing is coming to an end this Sunday. The bi-weekly Gravity Series is designed for less experienced mountain bike riders to get a taste of what racing is like. Using the trail systems on the mountain, riders are able to participate in single lap races on the same track as larger races such as the Marquette Trails Fest and the Full Enduro. This year the Gravity Series averaged 10 to 12 riders, but organizers hope to expand that number next season.
Urge people to come out Sunday at 1 o'clock. Come out and cheer for the guys who are racing. We will have an overall prize for the season. This is our 8th event.
Organizers say a plan for mountain bike lessons is also in the works for next year. Tonight, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting wildlife in Delta County hosted its 42nd annual banquet in Escanaba. Wildlife Unlimited works to sustain the area's wildlife from butterflies and fish to deer and bears. At the banquet, members participated in raffles, auctions, and other activities to raise money for the organization. That money goes toward conservation, food plots, animal tagging, and other outdoor projects.
Supporting our natural habitat in our own county, and that's it helps everyone, whether you're a youth or an adult. If you're out in the woods or doing any kind of activity involving guns or archery or anything of that sort, we support you.
Wildlife Unlimited currently has 500 members. To learn more about joining, just head to our website. There's been a lot of buzz about this summer's drought in Wisconsin and how it will impact the state's crops and other plants. But the trends also impact those who pollinate those plants. Catherine Merck explains.
If you want to get the most accurate weather forecast, you got to ask those who live in this hive.
The bees are definitely dialed in. I mean, they have to. They need to pay attention to the weather. That's how they survive.
Carrie Sipniewski with the Rock County Beekeepers Association says when the weather patterns are tough, it stings the bees the most.
This summer, particularly in this area, it was incredibly dry. So I did notice a decrease in honey production on some of my yards.
The climate can determine how the bees do their jobs. As pollinators, they help bring food to your table. And if they can't do that,
we're going to start seeing ripple effects.
Beekeepers nationwide are seeing their hives die this year at record rates. Carrie says there's a lot of factors that can contribute to the hive's issues, but we'll feel the impact on our food.
I think in the future we're going to see higher prices just due to the more challenges that we're facing with bees.
The beekeeper says as a result of the past few months of drought, we need to be there for these animals so we also don't feel stung.
We should really, really support our pollinators.
This beekeeper tells me there are ways you can help the bees out. You can be strategic about the plants that you put in your own yard so that the bees can pollinate in your area.
According to the latest drought monitor, recent rains have made a dent in southern Wisconsin's drought conditions. However, much of southern Wisconsin is still considered to be in a severe drought. Still ahead tonight, new research shows when you exercise could have an added health benefit for those with diabetes. That's next.
The Emmy-nominated Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Do you know that feeling when you're laughing and crying at the same time?
Weeknights on CBS.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
This is home. It's our town, it's our song. This is home. This is where we belong. Whoa, this is home. Yeah. This is home.
Come on down to Outdoor Man, where our camping department is intense.
Set it up in 30 seconds flat. And take it down even faster.
And we're always family friendly.
We found a bear cub in here.
Been nice knowing you, Baxter.
Outdoor Man is open for business on Last Man Standing.
You're watching the award-winning WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Sarah Blakely.
Exercise and a healthy diet are known to help control or prevent diabetes. But as Natalie Brand tells us, when that exercise happens can also be beneficial.
What time you exercise can have an effect on preventing type 2 diabetes. A new study published in Diabetologia finds people who work out in the morning or afternoon can reduce their risk by about 10%. But for people who hit the gym after 6 p.m., there was no significant reduction. Study co-author Dr. Chirag Patel says vigorous exercise can make up the difference.
If you look at sort of hardcore physical activity, things that would make you sweat, those things across the board, no matter what time, had lower risk for diabetes.
Researchers looked at data from more than 90,000 people in the UK who wore a device on their wrist that tracked physical activity. They found having a daily routine isn't important, but getting the exercise is.
We detect activity on your watch on Monday, for say 2 hours. That's no different than looking at an individual who exercises a total of 2 hours during the week.
The CDC says about 1 in 10 Americans have diabetes.
Patel says the results were still statistically significant when adjusting for other factors like sleep and diet. We have another warm day ahead tomorrow and then cooling a little bit, but nice over the weekend. Ariane lets us know who could be dodging some showers tomorrow as well. And how you can get your hands on famed painter Bob Ross's very first TV painting. That's our final story after this.
The wait is over. England Furniture's quick shipping is back at Kirkish Furniture. Choose your style and fabric and receive your furniture in as little as 30 days. Browse our in-stock selection or let our staff help you customize the perfect sofa or chair. Plus, 1 year free financing and free delivery.
If you served, we want you to get the health care and benefits you earned. We want you to come to VA.
There's never been a better time to apply. Under a new law called the PACT Act,
we've expanded VA care and benefits to millions of people who served and their survivors.
No matter where you served or how long you served, check out va.gov/PACT to learn more about what VA can do for you and your family. Come to VA.
Everyone loves the Great Lakes. They make you feel like dancing. A great place to celebrate is at Marquette's Maritime Museum, but your help is needed. The museum's roof needs to be replaced to preserve history for future generations. So kick up your heels and help by donating today. Simply go to WZMQ19.com and hit the Raise the Roof link. A public service message from the New Attitudes Dance Studios, the Marquette Maritime Museum at WZMQ 19.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion. Learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
You know, it's a little bit early, but autumn is just around the corner, just a day away on Saturday. Han Solo attire season, vests and whatnot. These are the temperatures that we're looking at for that Saturday with partly to mostly sunny skies, and we've got a lot of events going on. Run Iron Mountain headed to partly sunny skies, a high of 74. We'll start with fairly cool conditions though at 8 a.m. As those clouds clear away between 10 and 11 in the morning, and then up in Big Bay, it's the big day. Fall Fest is going on from 11 to 4. We'll expect partly sunny skies, slim chance of showers there before things dry out for the evening with partly cloudy skies. Those temperatures really nice in the 70s and 60s. For 7-day in Escanaba, partly sunny skies on our Saturday, and then those temperatures dropping down just a little bit into the 60s next week. We're looking fairly dry, and I do have to send a quick shout out to Sarah Sikorsky for this beautiful shot of 50 bees on this flower.
Finally tonight, a one-of-a-kind painting by American artist Bob Ross is up for sale for nearly $10 million. Yep, it's called A Walk in the Woods, and the piece was completed on the very first episode of the PBS show The Joy of Painting. For 11 years, Ross taught viewers how to paint landscapes, including happy little trees. Ryan Nelson owns the gallery Modern Artifact that obtained this piece and listed it at $9.85 million.
And you see the pond, you see the rocks that water would have been rolling off of. You see tranquility, right? You see stillness. You see just an emotional reset for yourself to just take a breath.
Ross died in 1995 at the age of 52, but his popularity has soared again in recent years. A YouTube channel featuring his shows now has almost 6 million subscribers. I love it.
Love it. Still watch him. Grew up watching him.
Yes. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Now, during Toyota's Truck and SUV Month, get 3.99 APR financing on the new, aggressively sophisticated Toyota Highlander.
Or 4.99 APR financing on this electrified Highlander hybrid. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance. Toyota, let's go places.
IRS, open up.
The IRS is the most feared agency in the country and has the power to seize assets, garnish wages, and even put you in jail for